Hello students, in this video we are going to study the remaining part of the chapter number 8. The chapter name is Cell, Structure and Functions. Class 8, Subject Science ncert. In the previous video of this chapter, we had seen how the cell was discovered, what is cell, the organisms which shows variety in cell number, shape and size. Then after in that we had seen the different number of cells in different organisms, then after different shapes of the cells, size of cells and structure and function of the cell. So now let me continue our chapter with the parts of the cell. So the cell contains different parts. In that first one is cell membrane. So the basic component of a cell are cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. It is shown to you in the next figure 8.7. In the 8.7 it is shown to you. Last one figure here. You can see the cell membrane, this one cytoplasm and nucleus. So these are the basic elements or basic you can say components of the cell. The cytoplasm and nucleus are enclosed within the cell membrane and also called the plasma membrane. As earlier we had seen that this cytoplasm and nucleus or the cell is bounded or enclosed by the cell membrane. It is also known as the plasma membrane. And the membrane separates the cells from each other and also cell from the surrounding medium. The cell membrane separates the cell from each other and also the cell from its surrounding medium, and the plasma membrane or the cell membrane is porous and it allows the movement of the substance or materials both inward and outward. This plasma membrane or cell membrane is porous, that means it has small holes, and these holes allow this cell membrane the movement of different substance and materials from cell to outer medium and outer medium to cell, that is inward and outward. Here one activity is given to you, that is activity number 8.3. So here we have to take in this activity we have to observe the basic components of the cell. For that we need to take an onion bulb, or you can say onion, then after remove a dry pink covering or peels from this onion, and you can easily separate this from the fleshy white layers of the bulb with the help of the forceps or even with your hands. Forceps, that means the tongue which has the sharp end or sharp pointed end. So by which you can separate the pink layer through the white fleshy layer by the help of this, and you can even separate these layers with the help of your hands. Then after you can also break the onion bulb and separate out thin layers. You have to in short take the thin layer of this onion peel, and then after place a small piece of thin onion peel in a drop of water on a glass slide. On a glass slide you have to take one drop of water, and in that you have to put this thin layer of onion peel. The thin layer can be cut into the smaller piece with the help of blade or this forceps. You have to take the thin layer and then after add a drop of methylene blue solution to the layer and place a cover slip on this layer. Then after you have to add the few drops of methylene blue solution. It gives the color so that we can observe this cell of this thin layer of the onion easily. So you have to put a drop of it, and then after you have to cover this all with the help of cover slip. Cover slip is a kind of small strip which flatten this onion peel, or it shows the clearly what is there inside the, or to fix this we are using the cover slip. So this is cover slip. You have to cover this with the cover slip, and while placing this cover slip you have to ensure that there is no air bubbles are there under this cover slip. And then after observe this slide under the microscope, and what will be the diagram that you have to observe. So you will get the diagram like this. in which you will find the nucleus and cytoplasm in the onion peel. So you will observe that the boundary of the onion cell is the cell membrane, is known as the cell membrane. So this one is the cell membrane. It is covered by the another thick covering called the cell wall. Outer side of the cell membrane there is the cell wall, and the central dense round body in the center is called nucleus. This one round body in the center of the cell is known as the nucleus. This jelly-like structure between this nucleus and this cell membrane, this one, that means in this area the jelly-like structure is there. So this jelly-like structure is known as the cytoplasm. Now Bujoha want to know why plant cells need cell wall. Earlier we had seen that plants only have the cell walls, animals do not have the such kind of cell walls. So you have learned that earlier the cell membrane gives shape to the cell, and in addition to the cell membrane there is an outer thick layer in cells of plant called the cell wall, and this cell wall additional layer surrounding the cell membrane is required by plant for the protection. In the plants it is there for the protection, as the plant cells need protection against variation in temperatures, high wind speed, atmospheric moisture, etc. So these are the some of the factors from which plant cell need protection. So for the protection the cell wall is there in the plants only, and they are exposed to this variation because they cannot move. And cells can be observed in the leaf peel of Tradescantia, Alodia and Royo. These are the name of the some of the plants. In these plants, leaf of these plants peel, we can see the cell, and we can observe or study the different parts of the cell. And you can prepare a slide as in the case of onion also. Paheli ask now Bujoho if he can also observe the animal cells. So for that next activity is given to you. Before that let we see how these different plants look like. So this is the picture of Tradescantia. Then after next this one is the Alodia. It is the aquatic plant which grow in the water, and this one is Royo plant. So from this leaf or peel of this leaf you can observe the plant cell. So to observe the animal cell, next activity is given to you. For that you have to take a clean toothpick or a matchstick with the tip broken, and then after you have to scrape inside your cheeks without hurting it, and then after put it in the drop of water on a glass, and add a drop of iodine and place a cover slip over it, and in place of iodine you can also use 1 to 2 drops of methylene blue solution. It is for the color purpose, so you can also use the methylene blue solution, and observe this under the microscope, and you may notice the several cells in the scraped material which we had taken from the inside of the cheek, and you can identify the cell membrane, the cytoplasm and nucleus, and the cell wall. You will find that cell wall is absent in the animal cells. Here in the picture the animal cell, human cheeks animal cells is shown to you. Here you can see that nuclear membrane is there, cytoplasm is there, nucleus is there, and cell membrane is there. So now let we see the first one is cytoplasm. So it is this jelly-like substance present between the cell membrane and the nucleus. So between the nucleus and cell membrane, this one jelly-like structure is known as the cytoplasm, and various other components, or you can say organelles. Here it is given to you. Other components and organelles of the cells are also present in the cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm, other organelles are also present, and this may be and these are the mitochondria, Golgi bodies, ribosomes, etc. And you will learn about these other organelles in the higher classes. Here you have to only remember that the other organelles are also present in the cytoplasm, that are mitochondria, Golgi bodies, ribosomes, etc. Next one is nucleus. The part of the cell that is nucleus. So it is the important component of the living cell, and it is generally spherical, and it is located in the center of the cell, and it can be stained or you can color it and see easily with the help of a microscope. Nucleus is separated from the cytoplasm by a membrane or one boundary, which is also known as the nuclear membrane. And this membrane is also porous like the cell membrane, and it also allows the movement of materials between the cytoplasm and the inside of the nucleus. So this is nucleus and the nuclear membrane. And with a microscope of higher magnification, we can see a smaller spherical body in the nucleus. And these smaller bodies in the nucleus, in the previous figure it is also shown to you, that is known as the nucleolus. And in addition to this nucleus contain also thread-like structure called the chromosomes, and this carry the genes and help in the inheritance or transfer or inheritance, that means transfer of characters from the parents to the offspring. That means as a heritage what we are getting from our parents, that is known as the inheritance. So these genes are responsible for this inheritance, and the chromosomes can be seen only when the cell divides. Here in the cell you can see the nucleus. This one is nucleus. In the nucleus you can see some thread-like structures are there, which is known as this one chromosomes, and some other spherical bodies are also like this here, which is known as the nucleolus. So this is the part of the nucleus. And in addition, this nucleus, in addition to its role in inheritance, nucleus play important role in inheritance. Other than that, it also act as the control center of the activities of the cell. It is the control center of all the activities which are happening in this cell, and the entire content of the living cell is also known as the protoplasm, and it includes the crystoplasm and the nucleus. The combine of the cytoplasm and nucleus, it is known as the protoplasm, and this protoplasm is called the living substance of the cell. Here let me more know about the genes. So gene is a unit of inheritance that we had seen, that is the character which transfer from the parents to the offspring. So inheritance in living organisms, in that genes play a very important role. It controls the transfer of the hereditary characteristics from the parents to offspring. In hereditary, that means the characteristics which we are getting from our parents. This means that your parents pass some of their characteristics on to you. Like here some examples are given to you, that if your father has brown eyes, you may also have the brown eyes. And if your mother has curly hair, you might also end up with having curly hair. So however, but it is not true over all the time. However, the different combination of the genes from the parents result in the different characteristics. It may be also possible that some of the characteristics are different from your parents. That is because of the different combination of the genes. Now Paheli wants something, that Paheli wants to know if the structure of the nucleus is same in cells of plants, animals and bacteria. The structure of this nucleus is same in all the kind of. So here let we know that the nucleus of the bacterial cell is not well organized. It is not well organized in the bacteria like the cells of the multicellular organism. And there is no nuclear membrane in the bacterial cells. The cells having nuclear material without nuclear membrane are termed as the prokaryotic cells. So these nucleus which do not have, or the cell which do not have the nucleus membrane or nuclear membrane, so those kind of cells are known as the prokaryotic cells. And these organisms, this kind of organisms with these cells are known as the prokaryotes. Like pro, that means primitive, or you can say fundamental, or karyon, that means nucleus. Example of such kind of organisms are bacteria and blue-green algae. In that, nuclear membrane is not there in these cells. The cells like the onion cells and chick cells chick cells having which has the well organized nucleus with the nuclear membrane are designated or are called eukaryotic cells. So we have the eukaryotic cells because we have the nuclear membrane, and all the organisms other than bacteria and blue green algae are called eukaryotes. Eu that means true and karyon that means nucleus. So we are known as the eukaryotes. Now let me move forward. So while observing the onion cell under the microscope, did you notice any blank, this kind of structure in the cytoplasm? So it is known as the vacuoles. Here in the next figure it is shown to you, we will see later. So that structure is known as the vacuole, and it could be single and big as in the onion cell. It could be smaller and single, and it may be bigger as the onion cell. And chick cells have smaller vacuoles. Large vacuoles are common in plant cells. In plant cells, the vacuoles are larger as compared to the animal cells. And vacuoles in the animal cells are much smaller. And you might have noticed several small color bodies in the cytoplasm of the cells of Tradescantia leaf, and they are scattered in the cytoplasm of the leaf cell. Small color body, like in this figure it is shown to you. This one middle part is known as the, as we had seen, vacuoles, which has the dash like structure or blank like structure, and then after here you can see the green color substance are there, which is known as the plastids. So this in the cytoplasm they are scattered, and these are known as the plastids. And some of them contains green pigment called chlorophyll. Some of them has the green color pigment. That pigment is called the chlorophyll, and these green color plastids are called chloroplast. Here it is written to you that it is known as the chloroplast, and they provide green color to the leaves. Because of this, colors of the leaves is green. And you may recall that chlorophyll in the chloroplast of the leaves is essential for the photosynthesis. And this green pigment in the plant cell are helpful in the process of photosynthesis. So this is about the plant cell and plastids. Now next is comparison of plant and animal cells. So if you recall the last two activities, that is observation of onion cell and the observation of chick cell in animals or in human, you should be able to compare the plant and animal cells, and here by comparing these two figures also you can differentiate the plant cell and animal cell. So now here let us tabulate the similarities and distinguishing features, that is different features of plant and animal cells, and only a few features are mentioned here. You can add more in the given table. Here in the figure all the parameters are shown to you. These are the cytoplasm in the both the cells. Nucleus is there, vacuoles is there. You can see the vacuoles in the animal cell is smaller as compared to the plant cell. This one is the animal cell, this one is the plant cell. This is known as the cell membrane. This combinedly known as the cell wall, which is absent in the animal cell. And here you had already seen this one is the chloroplast. So here one table is given to you for the comparison of plant cell and animal cell. So now let me see the answer for this table. So first one here given to you is cell membrane. So in plant cell it is present, and in animal cell it is also present. Next is cell wall. So cell wall is present in plant cell but it is absent in the animal cell. Then after next one is nucleus. So nucleus is present in both of the cells. Next is nuclear membrane. So also again it is present in both of the cells. Next is cytoplasm. So again cytoplasm is present in both of the cells. Number 6 is plastids. So plastids is present in the plant cell and it is absent in the animal cell. Then after next last one is vacuole. So in the plant cell the vacuole is large, and in the animal cell the vacuole is small. So this is the comparison between the plant cell and animal cell. So here our chapter gets over. Here some hard words are given to you. You have to write these hard words in your notebook. First one in that is cell. Next is cell membrane, cell wall, chloroplast, chromosome, cytoplasm, eukaryotes. Next is gene, multicellular, nuclear membrane, nucleus, nucleolus. Next is nucleus. Then after next one is organ. Next one is organelles, plasma membrane, plastid, prokaryotes, pseudopodia, tissue. Next is unicellular, vacuole and white blood cell. So this you have to write in your notebook, and after that let me see the summary of this chapter and what we had learned from this chapter. So in the chapter we had seen that all organisms are made of smaller part of called organs. Then organs are made of still smaller parts, and the smallest living part of an organism is a cell. The next we had seen that cells were first observed in Cork by Robert Hooke in 1665, and cell exhibits a variety of shapes and sizes. The number of cells also varies from organism to organism, and some cells are big enough to be seen with the unaided eyes. Like hen's egg is an example. Some organisms are single-celled while other contains large number of cells. The single cell of unicellular organisms perform all the basic functions performed by a variety of cells in multicellular organisms. And the cell has three main parts, that is, first one is cell membrane, second is cytoplasm which contains smaller components called organelles, and the third part is nucleus. The nucleus is separated from cytoplasm by a nuclear membrane. And the cell without well-organized nucleus, that is lacking of nuclear membrane, are called prokaryotic cells. And this plant cell differ from animal cell in having an additional layer around the cell membrane which is known as the cell wall. And the color bodies called plastids are found in the plant cells only. Green plastids containing chlorophyll are called chloroplast. And the plant cell has a big central vacuole unlike a number of small vacuole in animal cell. So this is about cell, the structure and functions. Chapter number 8. So here our chapter gets over. In the next video we will see the textbook solution for this chapter. Thank you.